In the bustling, sunny city of Jericho, something wonderful was about to happen. The streets were filled with happy chatter and excitement. Merchants called out from their stalls, children giggled and played, and the air buzzed with energy. Everyone was waiting because Jesus was coming to town. Jesus is coming! Jesus is coming! People whispered to each other. I have to see him! A little girl shouted with a big smile. But not everyone was feeling so joyful. Hiding in the crowd was a man named Zacchaeus. Now, Zacchaeus was very, very short. So short, in fact, that all he could see were the backs of people's knees. He was also a tax collector, which meant he collected money for the powerful Romans. Because of this, a lot of people in Jericho weren't very friendly to him. Zacchaeus sighed, feeling worried. Oh, dear, he mumbled to himself. How will I ever see Jesus through this giant crowd? I'm much too small, and everyone will just push me out of the way. But Zacchaeus didn't give up. More than anything, he really, truly wanted to see Jesus. His heart felt a little tug, telling him this was important. Zacchaeus looked around, his eyes darting back and forth, searching for a solution. The crowd was getting bigger and bigger. Then, his eyes landed on something tall and leafy just down the road. Aha! He whispered excitedly to himself. Itoyuj, strong sycamore tree with big, sturdy branches. I've got it! I'll climb that tree! From way up there, I'll be able to see everything. A clever idea popped into his head. Without another thought, Zacchaeus scurried out of the crowd and ran as fast as his little legs could carry him toward the sycamore tree. He looked up at the tall trunk, took a deep breath, and started to climb. Up, up, up he went, his little clay feet finding perfect spots to hold on. He grabbed onto the thick branches, pulling himself higher and higher, until he found a perfect spot hidden among the green leaves. Epiqued out, a huge grin spreading across his face. This is perfect, he whispered with a happy giggle. No one can see me hiding up here, but I can see him. On Juten, Hisakis and drowned people. Jesus was smiling, talking kindly to everyone he met, and giving warm hugs to the children. Jesus continued walking through the streets of Jericho, the crowd following him every step of the way. As he got closer to the big sycamore tree, something amazing happened. He stopped, right underneath the very branch where Zacchaeus was hiding. Zacchaeus' heart started beating like a drum. Did Jesus see him? How could he? Jesus looked up, right into the leaves, and smiled the warmest, kindest smile Zacchaeus had ever seen. Zacchaeus, Jesus called out, his voice full of love. Come down quickly. I want to stay at your house today. Zacchaeus couldn't believe his ears. Jesus wanted to come to his house. He was so shocked he almost fell out of the tree. He quickly scrambled down the trunk, his mind racing. Me? Jesus! You want to come to my house? He asked, his voice filled with wonder. The people in the crowd started to murmur and whisper amongst themselves. Why would Jesus go to his house? One neighbor said, looking confused, He's a sinner. He takes our money. But Zacchaeus didn't hear them. His heart was so full he thought it might burst. He was beaming with happiness. I can't believe this, he thought. This is the best day ever. As soon as Jesus stepped inside Zacchaeus' colorful little home, a wonderful change began to happen. It was like a light switched on inside Zacchaeus' heart. Looking around at all his bags of coins and fancy jars, he suddenly saw things differently. Being with Jesus made him feel so full of love and joy that he wanted to share it with everyone. He turned to Jesus, his face glowing with a brand new smile. Lord, he announced, his voice strong and clear, I've made a decision. I will give half of everything I own to the poor. And if I have ever cheated anyone, I will pay them back 4 times as much. Jesus smiled back at him, his eyes twinkling with pride. "Today salvation has come to this house," Jesus said, "for Zacchaeus is also a child of God." Zacchaeus might have been a small man on the outside, but in that moment, his heart had grown bigger than anyone's in Jericho. It was overflowing with generosity and a brand new kind of happiness he had never felt before. Zacchaeus didn't waste a single moment. He ran back out into the streets, but this time he wasn't hiding. He was sharing. He handed out coins to children, gave fresh fruit to his neighbors, and shared his wealth with anyone who needed it. "Here, take this," he said with a joyful laugh. "God has blessed me with so much love, and I want to share it with all of you." The children clapped their hands and giggled. "Wow!" One little boy exclaimed, "Zacchaeus is so nice now." Everyone in Jericho could see the amazing change. The grumpy little tax collector was gone, and in his place was a kind, generous, and joyful friend. His heart was so full of love that it spilled out and made the whole town feel happier and brighter. The sun seemed to shine a little warmer, and the whole city of Jericho was filled with smiles. Jesus walked with Zacchaeus, and seeing the crowd still gathered, he shared an important lesson. The Son of Man, Jesus explained, came to seek and to save the lost. He came to find those who felt small, lonely, or had made mistakes, and to show them the way back to God's love. Zacchaeus nodded eagerly, his eyes shining. "I understand now," he said to the crowd. When we love others and share what we have, we are living God's way. A neighbor who had once grumbled about Zacchaeus now smiled in amazement. "Look at that!" Esse. With God's help, anyone can change and become kind and loving, and it was true. Zacchaeus was a new man, full of joy, kindness, and love for God and for everyone around him. The whole city of Jericho decided to celebrate. The streets filled with happy music, with tambourines shaking and people clapping their hands. Children danced and played around the big sycamore tree. Neighbors shared food and flowers, and everyone laughed together. And what about Zacchaeus? Well, he climbed his favorite tree one more time. Butistim, it wasn't for fun. He sat on a branch, waving down at all his new friends. Who says trees are just for seeing over crowds? He called out with a laugh. There for having fun, too. The children giggled and shouted back, "Yay! Let's all climb trees." The story of Zacchaeus teaches us something very special. It shows us that no matter who we are, how small we might feel, or what mistakes we've made, God's love can help us change. He sees us, even when we feel like we're hiding. When we open our hearts to Him, learn to share, and show love to others, our own hearts grow bigger and happier than we could ever imagine. Just like Zacchaeus, we can fill the world with joy and kindness. God can change our hearts today and help us love and share His way. And that's the wonderful story of Zacchaeus and the Tria story, all about courage, kindness, and the amazing, never-ending love of God. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe for more stories.